You're not lazy. I know that's hard to believe because everyone, your parents, your teachers, that quiet voice in your head at 2 in the morning, has spent years convincing you that you are. That if you just tried a little harder, wanted it a little more, you'd finally become the person you keep promising yourself you'll be, starting Monday. But here's what nobody tells you. The reason you can't sit down and do the thing isn't a character flaw. You're not broken. You're not weak. Your brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do, and once you see how, you can't unsee it. Let me tell you when this hit me. About a year ago, I got to a point where I couldn't watch a movie without also being on my phone, a movie I picked. The exact thing I said I wanted to watch, and it still wasn't enough to hold me on its own. I'd sit down to do homework, tell myself I'd just check one quick thing, and look up 2 hours later having done absolutely nothing but scroll. And every single time I'd reach for the same word. Lazy, undisciplined, pathetic. So I did everything you're supposed to do. I bought the planner, I watched the 5 in the morning routine guys. I'd feel unstoppable for about a day and a half, and then collapse right back into the exact same loop, feeling worse than when I started. It took me way too long to figure out the truth. I wasn't losing a fight against laziness. I was losing a fight against my own brain. And no one had ever told me the rules of the game I was playing. So let me tell you the rules. Quick, painless, stay with me. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical like everyone thinks. It's the motivation chemical. It's the thing that makes you want to get up and go chase the reward in the first place. And here's the part that changes everything. Your brain doesn't measure dopamine on some fixed scale. It measures it against your own normal. Your baseline. Now here's the problem. Your phone hands you spikes that nothing in real life can compete with. An endless feed, designed by people far smarter and far better funded than you or me, engineered to give you a brand new hit every few seconds, with zero effort. No waiting, no boredom, no work required at all. Think of it like spice. If you eat the spiciest thing on the menu every single day for a month, plain food slowly starts to taste like nothing. You didn't lose your sense of taste, you just raised the bar so high that normal food can't reach it anymore. That is exactly what's happening to your motivation. Reading a chapter, starting the assignment, going to the gym, sitting with a friend. None of these were ever supposed to feel thrilling, but next to a feed built in a lab to hijack your attention, they feel unbearably slow. So your brain does the completely rational thing and picks the easy hit. Every single time. So when you finally sit down to work and you feel that heavy, foggy, I physically cannot start kind of resistance, that is not laziness. That's closer to withdrawal. You are not a lazy person. You're an overstimulated one. And those are two completely different problems with two completely different solutions. Which brings me to the part where I'm going to disagree with basically every self-improvement video you've ever watched, including the ones I used to believe with my whole heart. Just be more disciplined. Lock in. Delete the app. Grind. You've heard it 1,000 times. And for this specific problem, it does not work. Not because you're weak, but because discipline is the wrong tool for the job. Willpower is a tiny battery. It's real, but it's small, and it drains fast. And you are trying to use that tiny battery to outlast a machine that never sleeps, never gets bored, never gives up, and was built by a company whose entire survival depends on keeping you scrolling. That is not a fair fight. That's you, arm wrestling a robot, and then blaming yourself every night for losing. And here's the sneakiest trap of all, the one that kept me stuck the longest. Even watching self-improvement can become the addiction. You binge video after video about discipline and focus and morning routines, and you feel like you're growing. But you're not. You're getting a little dopamine hit off the fantasy of the person you could become, without doing a single thing any of them actually said. It's the most comfortable trap in the world, because it feels exactly like progress. But the goal was never to have more willpower than a robot. That was never winnable. The goal is to stop showing up to that fight in the first place. You don't beat overstimulation with more effort. You beat it by turning the volume back down. So here's the honest answer. It isn't a 12-step routine and it isn't sexy, which is probably why nobody's trying to sell it to you. Number 1. Make the easy hit harder to reach and the hard thing easier. Put your phone in another room, not face down on the desk, another room. Before you start anything that actually matters, you're not depending on willpower anymore. You're just adding a little friction. And friction, quietly, patiently, wins. Number 2, and this is the one that genuinely changed things for me. Let yourself be bored. On purpose. 10 minutes a day. No phone, no screen, no music, no podcast, just nothing. It's going to feel awful the first few times. And that feeling isn't a problem. That's the whole point. That's the tolerance draining out. You're letting the spice wear off so that ordinary life can start to taste like something again. Number 3. Do one hard thing before the first scroll of the day. Before your brain gets its first easy hit, spend that first moment on something real. 5 push-ups. 1 page. 1 paragraph of the assignment you're dreading. You're teaching your brain, first thing in the morning, that effort is still where the good stuff lives. That's it. None of it is impressive. And that is exactly the point. You were never going to out-discipline a slot machine, but you were always free to just walk away from the table. And listen, if any of this hit a little too close to home, I need you to hear the actual good news buried inside it. It means you were never the problem. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not too far gone. You've just been running on a setting that somebody else cranked all the way up, and you are allowed to turn it back down. Slowly. Starting today, you are so much closer than you think. If this helped even a little, subscribe. I'm just out here trying to help my generation, and honestly, you get it more than most people ever will. I'll see you in the next one.